What is going on YouTube? We are back with another YouTube video. We are 11 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia. So you guys know it's been a long journey. If you guys backpedal to my first YouTube video, I mean, I was talking about this moment. I truly can't believe I'm still going to the Olympia race. Of course, it took 5 years to get to this point. And now the goal is just to, you know, this is my first Olympia. And the goal is just to show out, bring my best. And hopefully we just keep showing up to Olympia every single year from now on. So really, really excited. Today we're gonna do a chest workout for you guys and also give you a visual of how I'm looking 11 weeks out. And then pretty much go from there. Obviously it's been a rough prep. I've done 6 shows at the Olympia. We'll make it 7 shows for this year. And maybe we might do another show. So 8 shows this year. So hey, we'll see how the body feels. Of course, it's just based on how the health is and recovery and all that. But right now, just to bring my best for 11 weeks, you know, down on the cardio, down on the diet. Had like a 4 or 5 week break, so now just time to bring my best. You know, whatever happens, happens. And you know, goal is just to represent. We got incline machine press. The feedback I got from Tyler was that my upper chest needs to come up. So pretty much the past 6 weeks, that's pretty much what I've been focused on. Is just bringing up the upper chest. Usually for me, my weakest body part is usually my chest and legs. And one thing about men's physique, obviously not just in the legs, but you know, you still gotta have that, you know, X frame. So it's really important that obviously you still have mass in your legs. And for me, my chest is the first thing that goes flat as soon as I diet. So I gotta make sure that, you know, I do have tissue there. So when I do step on stage, I have that full look across the chest, shoulders. And of course, my back is my sharpest point. I really don't have to worry about that. So yeah, we'll see how this feels and pretty much, you know, go from there. Starting to get sweaty. You guys know I got a hair transplant, so here's the results. I definitely look different. Definitely, it was worth the trip to Turkey. Starting to get sweaty. Of course, shameless plug. Code Dan for Dark Sweat. So of course, when it comes to any chest movement, the cue here is driving that bicep, right, to the side of your chest. So just making sure you get that full contraction. And that's pretty much the cue for any chest movement you guys do. You're just making sure, again, cue, bicep to chest, and that's pretty much it. So I'm probably gonna work up to maybe a top set of 3, 4, and then do a back down. Of course, one thing about me is, you know, my tricep gets huge, right? And you don't want that for men's physique. So pretty much I gotta be careful in terms of my pressing movement, just to make sure I'm not using my tricep. So you guys will find out I do like 2 sets, and then most of my chest volume is usually through flies, right? Just take out my arms, and then obviously doing flies, it's all just chest. But in the meantime, we're still gonna do this, and just see how this feels. Top set. Energy's still high, you know, food is still high, cardio is still low, so I'm feeling good. Obviously prep is not easy, so the work is definitely gonna be done. Guys, that was the top set. Of course, the way I usually do my rep scheme is I always run up to a top set, right? So my top set will be my heaviest, my hardest set. Main reason why is I want to spend my most energy, right, on my top set. I do a top set, that's my hardest set, and then I usually do a back down. Of course, as I stated before, I don't want my tricep doing a lot of work, and then pretty much we'll move on to the next movement. And the goal, especially as a bodybuilder, right, the goal is just to refine your technique, right? So you can see if you look at my reps, I'm I'm not blasting through the transitional moments, right? I'm taking my time, making sure I'm feeling the squeeze, making sure the muscle is working. Again, just making sure that, you know, the muscle, the chest, right, is doing most of the work, especially when it comes to any exercise you guys do. But in the meantime, let's keep going. Probably gonna drop down to 3 plates, and then we'll just keep going. All right, guys, second movement, flies. Key here, again, for any chest movement you guys do, bicep to chest, that's all it is. A lot of people tend to focus on their hands touching, but they realize you lose connection. So in my head, right, I'm not thinking about the hands like coming together, right? Usually a lot of people tend to, you know, focus on their hands, and this is what I mean by that. Is they focus on their hands touching, right? But instead, focus on your bicep to your chest. And usually that's the movement right there. That's the full contraction of the movement. So you guys look at me. And I'm thinking bicep to chest, and that's it, right? It doesn't have to come any closer. So same concept here when it comes to obviously rep scheme. Work up to a top set. Probably gonna do like 3 or 4 sets. Mainly because again, I can't do any presses. In terms of like, I can't do a lot of volume when it comes to presses, because my tricep gets involved. And the goal is just try to minimize the arms getting bigger. So most of my volume work is gonna be on the fly. And then again, just make sure that chest is full, especially when it comes to, you know, stepping on stage. Because I feel like for men's physique, it's all about the shoulders, you know, the chest, the back. The thing about me is my chest just goes flat as I, you know, diet. And all you just see is just shoulders and back, right? No chest fullness. So the goal is just to maintain that fullness in the chest. And I feel like that would be overall a better package for me. So once you know, the resistance profile of the prime machine, a lot of people tend to get confused. So usually for the chest, right, in terms of optimal resistance profile or strength profile, you're really strong in this position right here, right, in the stretch position, right? And then as you get closer, the muscle tends to be weaker. So you want to set the resistance profile of the machine to match your strength profile, right? So where you're strongest at, you want the machine to be the heaviest there. So if you look at the prime machine, that's like 3 nogs here, right? Again, the position we're trying to, you know, mimic is to be heaviest at the start. So I'm gonna put this at 3. And again, it's heaviest at where I'm strongest at. And then as I pull towards my midline, it gets lighter. So it kind of emulates how, you know, the chest produces force, right? So heaviest at where you're strongest, and that is lighter at where you're weakest, if that makes sense, right? But that is all. Again, we got 1 more set, and then pretty much we're gonna probably go back to a flat movement, and that's pretty much a chest workout right there. Like that's my workout. 3 easy movements, progressive overload, get strong, and you necessarily don't have to, you know, change up your workout every time. As long as you connect well with that workout, run it to the ground, get strong at it, and the muscle is gonna grow, it's a guarantee. All right, guys, last movement for the chest. Of course, you know, doing an incline, doing a fly, I pretty much cover the whole contractual range of my chest, but just want to get an extra feel. So fat press, target more of that midline and lower portion of the chest. And again, nothing crazy, 2 sets. Same concept here, driving the bicep to the chest. Again, controlling the transitional changes, so just taking my time, making sure the muscle working. So we're almost done here. Again, my chest movement or my upper body sessions is pretty quick, and that's just because my upper body is just so dominant, right? Of course, I'm still working, but I truly don't have to do much to be able to keep up the size. I'd rather bring on my legs, so you guys watch my workout. I spend most of my energy on my legs and my chest. I really don't have to, not really push it, but you know, I don't have to spend as much time on it just because, again, my upper body is just so big. So I just gotta be careful, just making sure, you know, I don't outgrow the division. And that's been a problem for the past 4 or 5 years of me competing, and just my upper body is just so big. So they've been docking me. I think this year has been my best year in terms of competing, where the judges are rewarding me. They like my look. And the goal is just to keep it like that, right? So keep streamlining the physique. For me, it's just small arms, right? Maybe a little small on the shoulders, but overall, maybe a slightly bigger chest. Overall, I think I have everything I need to be a really competitive men's league athlete. So if I want to do good in Olympia, I just gotta come in condition. I have the muscle. Just make sure I'm, stripped to the bone, and just make sure that conditioning, shows through. And I think I'll be able to hang with the top guys. So again, I'm still young. The goal is just to keep refining the look and keep getting better. But we're gonna probably do 4 plates here. That will be my top set, and maybe work down to a tag down using 3 plates. We did incline, a fly, and a flat. Now we're gonna move on to some sort of shoulders, right? But we're probably gonna do some shoulders, row delts, and that's a workout. Pretty simple. I can't train arms. My arms are too big. Legit, I have 20-inch arms, which is, I feel like it's big for men's physique. So I've been training arms in almost 2 years now, and they're still like 19 inches. It's crazy. So I truly don't touch my arms. As you can see, my workout is pretty simple. And that's just because I don't have a lot to train, right? Just keep the size of my chest, streamline the physique a little bit more, and that's pretty much it when it comes down to the workouts. Keep it simple, keep it efficient, and pretty much, keep getting better. So we'll do some lateral raises, and this is probably one of my favorite variations when it comes to cables, lateral raises. So I'll show you guys how to set it up. Learn about arm's length when it comes to the cables, and then pretty much I put it behind me. Of course, the reason why we use a strap is it takes the hands and forearms out the way, and most of the work is just coming from the shoulders. So, wrap around my butt, take the other one, get centered, and that's it. You have your lateral raises. Pretty simple variation, or you guys want to do single two, you can do that. Doesn't really matter, as long as you have feel connection to the muscle. Of course, I'm going to do double just to save time. So you guys try it out, see how you like it. And then we're about to wrap this workout, actually, wrap this up. But yeah, I'm definitely tired, especially with the prep. We're about 11 weeks out, so definitely the cardio and food is gonna be out pretty ramped up. I'm somebody that's really adaptive when it comes to prep, so that means I have to do a lot to get in shape. And as I mature, the goal is to make getting in shape a lot easier, right? But especially for you guys that are new to bodybuilding, right? It is gonna take a lot in terms of just you gotta do a lot of cardio. You gotta eat, tremendous amount of low calories for you to get in shape. But as you mature, right, as you diet, on, higher foods, it should be a lot easier for you to get in shape mainly because you're gonna stay in shape all throughout your off season, because you just don't need that much mass, right, in order to grow. At this point, I just know I'm rambling. Hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. But I try to give you guys as much value as I can. Of course, I love bodybuilding. I pretty much studied this sport since I was like 10 years old, just because I was just so obsessed about just building my physique. But then I feel good. But yeah, overall, just to bring my best to the stage. We're gonna move on to some row delts. Row delt cable flies, and that's pretty much the workout. Lateral raises outside, and then pretty much pose afterwards. So I'll show you guys what I'm working with. But yeah. Again, when it comes to the cue for the row delts, it's pretty simple. Think about my arms reaching across the room, right, as I fly behind me, right? And also the movement is very small. Like, you don't have to bring your arms all the way back here. It's legit right here, all right? Feel that contraction. It's a pretty easy movement to understand. But cue I use is, I'm trying to reach my hands across the room, right? So I really just feel in that cue, and that kind of helps me connect to the row delts. But yeah, you can use a cable or you can use a reverse pec deck. It doesn't really matter as long as you feel that muscle working. Do whichever one works. I tend to just, be efficient with my workouts. So I'm already on, the cable. Might as well do some row delts instead of me going back to the, pec deck. Should do some row delts. So just being efficient, especially in prep, you're tired, you don't want to waste your energy. So my like exercise selection is just like perfect, just to make sure I'm not wasting energy, and the workout is very, very smooth, and it's just moving. The weather in Houston has been raining for like the past week. Because you guys don't know, I'm from Chicago, so I moved here about 2023. So it's been almost 3-4 years I've been here. Houston is great, it's been great to me. I feel like once I move here, that's when things start picking up for me. So just really appreciate the growth and just journey of just being in this path. So, all right, we're in gym 3 of the infamous Alpha Land. It's like 3 gyms, so of course you're able to get a lot of steps in. I feel like just me working out, I probably got at least, so close to almost 2K steps just walking around the gym just because it's so big. Which is good in prep, you want your steps in, so. We got 1 more movement, and that's pretty much it. We'll cap it there. That's it before we do some posing. See how I look.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up.
Of course, we're a little soft. So what happened was after the show, I'm not gonna lie, I was just mentally exhausted. So I ate a lot, and of course that's a professional. That's not acceptable, right? I went up almost like 20 pounds, 30. So kind of just set me up bad for the Olympia. But of course, just learning how to control those emotions, especially post-show, right? Obviously when it comes to bodybuilding, right, you're bodybuilding, but also like life just keeps going, right? So I feel like for me, not that I'm making excuses for myself, but I just let the emotion carry over instead of just having that priority, in terms of goals in mind when it comes to physique development, right? So body fat got way too high and just set me up in a bad position since my body fat is just too high at 10 weeks out. But I know I can do the workout. I'm still gonna get in shape for Olympia and just bring my best. Of course, this is my first Olympia. But the goal is, as I mature as an athlete, to be able to bring a better and better package to stage and just improve overall, right? Again, nobody's perfect, but you can always keep getting better. That's the workout, of course, really simple. 11 weeks out for my first Olympia, so hopefully I look back at this and just able to cherish the journey. Even I was looking back at my old YouTube video, and I can't just imagine how far I came, right? Of course, I did this sport, I started bodybuilding just because my friend was like, damn, you're so big, why don't you do a bodybuilding show? Now I've done almost like 20 shows, and now I can call myself an Olympian. So again, I'm just proud of myself. Of course, this journey has it's been hard, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. A lot of doubts, a lot of insurances, but again, we just kept showing up. We kept, doing our best, and now we're here, and the goal is for the next 11 weeks, showcase my best again. And again, just keep improving as a man, right? Improving as a person, and overall just being a better athlete. So that is all. Hope you guys enjoy the videos. If you guys have any questions, please let me know down in the comments, below. And do all the YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, share to your friends, share to your mom. Truly appreciate you guys. So I'll catch you guys later.